All right, we're on page 318, and we're not going to do this whole page. We're only going to do two problems. We're going to do 16 and 18. So right off the bat, you can go ahead and write skip for number 15, and you can now join me on number 16, the first hot question. And what I'm about to show you on number 16 is super important understanding. I've explained this in slight detail before, but we're going to explain it now and show work and hopefully make you understand this. The question reads, communicate mathematical understanding. Explain why 7 times x over 7 is equal to x. How does your answer help you solve a division equation such as x divided by 7 equals 2? So what I'm going to do is show you exactly what the textbooks here is trying to get to accomplish something. So I'm going to put 7 times, and then they have it kind of modeled this way, x over 7, and that's going to be equal to x. And it says explain why. So let's go back and think about when we multiply fractions. When we multiply fractions, this term right here is a fraction, but this one's not. So what could we do to make it a fraction is we simply make it over 1. Now what we would have here, I'm going to erase this x. Now what we would have here is 7 times x, that's 7x, over 1 times 7, that's 7. And what does this mean, 7 over 7? What does that mean? That means 7 divided by 7. So if I ignore this x right here, what would I have? Well, 7 divided by 7 would be 1. So what I'd have here is 1x, which is the same thing as x. So in other words, the reason why we have, why this equals x right here is because this 7 would be over 1. And the other way to do it is you could simplify these 7. 7 goes into 7 ones and 7 goes into 7 ones. I would end up with 1 times x is x over 1, and x over 1 is equal to x. So I think we've hopefully adequately explained that. Now the second part of the question says, how does your answer help you to solve a division equation such as, I'm going to copy that problem right here, x over 7 equals 2. So the question here is, how does this information help us? I'm going to show you right now. What kind of operation is this? It's division. The opposite of division is multiply. So I'm going to multiply by 7. And 7 is the same as 7 over 1. I'm also going to multiply this over here by 7, which is the same as 7 over 1. So watch what I do here. 7 and 7 share a factor of 7, so those would simplify to 1 and 1. And 1 times x is x, and x over 1 times 1 is 1. X over 1 is equal to x, so I have x equals. And then this over here would be 2 times 7 is 14. And 1 times 1 is 1. 14 over 1 is 14. So all of that mess means that x is equal to 14. So how does that answer help us solve an equation? Well, it just reminds us that the opposite right here of division is to multiply. That's why, how did I actually get 14? I multiplied. The opposite of divide by 7 is to multiply by 7. So I did 2 times 7 and I got 14. Okay, hopefully you have a decent understanding of that now. Let's go ahead and move on to the next problem we're doing. It's going to be number 18, so you can go to number 17 and you can write skip. And we're going to go to number 18. Number 18 is wildly confusing if you read it all at once, but if you read it kind of one piece at a time, it's not too bad. I'm going to help you with it. I'm going to read it all through with you, and then I'm going to show you how to ignore what we don't need to start. Number 18, multi-step. Andre has 4 times as many model cars as Peter. Peter has 1/3 as many model cars as Jade. Andre has 36 model cars. Write and solve an equation to find how many cars Peter has. Do you notice that on A, we're talking about Peter? And so we need to go through and figure out the Peter stuff. This is important. Andre has 4 times as many cars as Peter, and Peter has 1/3 as many cars as... That's not important right there, what I just highlighted. This information about Jade right here, this is not important. So I'm going to take that out for now. But I do need to know this. Andre has 36 cars. So write and solve an equation. Well, I don't know how many cars Peter has, but I do know that Andre has 36. So what I could do is write equals 36. How many cars does Andre have? He has 36. And I also know that Andre has 4 times as many model cars as Peter. 4 times literally tells you what the operation is. It's 4 times, and it's going to be 4 times, I'm going to choose P because I don't know how many cars Peter has. So if you just use your clues, 4 times is part of the problem. Andre has 36 model cars, that's part of the problem. And I don't know how many cars Peter has. But I do now because I'm just going to solve this. I'm going to rewrite this, make a little space. 4 times P is equal to 36. And I can just do that mentally. P is equal to 9. Because if I take this P out and put a 9 there, 4 times 9 is 36. So P equals 9 cars. Now I'm going to go back and reread and see if that makes sense. Andre has 4 times as many model cars as Peter. We think Peter has 9. Is 4 times 9 equal to 36? It is. So that's evidence, proof that Peter has 9 cars. So I'm going to put a little note here. Peter has 9 cars. That's really important because now I need to kind of undo my mess ups, my cross offs here. The first line might as well say Peter has 9 cars. Peter has 1/3 as many model cars as Jade. So I'm going to switch now. I should have read question B. Question B says, using your answer from part A, write and solve an equation to find how many model cars Jade has. So what do I know about Jade's car collection? I know that Peter has 1/3 as many model cars as Jade. Well, what does 1/3 mean? Hopefully by now, go down to the whiteboard here. Hopefully by now, when you think of 1/3, you know that that means the same as divide by 3. So how many cars does Jade have? We don't know. So I'm going to put a J. But if you took that and divided it by 3, you would get how many cars Peter has. It says right here, Peter has 1/3 as many model cars as Jade. And we know that from A, we know that Peter has 9 cars. So how do you solve J divided by 3? Well, you multiply by 3. It's 3 over 1, but whatever, it's 3. If you multiply 9 times 3, you get 27. Jade has 27 cars. Now let's go see if that makes sense. Peter has 1/3 as many model cars as Jade. Well, if Jade has 27, Peter has 9. Is 9 1/3 as many as 27? Well, it is, because 27 divided by 3 is equal to 9. So I know that went a little bit fast and that's a little bit messy, but those should now probably make sense to you. So for A, it's 4 times P equals 36, and the number of cars is 9. And for B, it's J divided by 3 equals 9. And when you multiply 9 by 3, you get 27 cars. Okay, good enough. You are done. We're skipping the last problem too. You are done with page 318. Good job.